Okay, awesome. So here we want to know, basically the question asks, given an integer array nums, return true if any value appears more than once in the array. Otherwise, return false. So they've given us an example here. We have an array with a few numbers, and then if there's a number that appears more than once, in this case 3 appears twice, then we want to return true. In this case, nothing appears more than once, so we want to return false because this array doesn't have duplicates. It's kind of straightforward. There are many ways to solve this question, but let's think about it for a bit. Now, there's a very elegant, easy, small, quick way to do it. Actually, it's kind of neat. You can just return the length of the array, and you want to check if it's equal to the length of the set of the setification, I guess you can say, of this array nums. Now, if it has a duplicate, this would not be true. So you want to negate this, right? Yes. Okay. So basically, this is a one-liner, super fancy way, and I'll run it to prove to you that it works. But basically, what this does is it turns nums into a set. So it basically filters all the duplicates out. And now this element has a length that is smaller than or equal to the array itself. Right? And so if this length is not the same as this length, this means that in the process of setifying, I guess you can, if you can say this, I don't know, I'm taking this from heapifying, but if in the process of setifying this array nums, the length of it just shrunk, that means this array nums had a duplicate before. And so I can even show you, we can submit this, and then it's 1:30 a.m. as you can see here. So I got my streak, but basically this works. Now, what is the time and space complexity of this? I don't know. Is there a better way? I think so. A better way to do this. Now this certification, I suppose it's O of n. Don't take my word for it, and it probably also takes O of n space, right? So what do we want to do? Now the idea here is, if you go to the question, let's take this example for example. In our previous solution, the way we wrote it before, we're gonna setify this whole array. What if we don't want to? What if we just are concerned with a smaller part of the array, right? Or let's say this is our array, right? Now, if we had our old solution, we would make all of this guy a set. But it's a bit like, right, because this guy is so big. What if we could like short circuit it by detecting the duplicate here before, or even, I don't know, if the 3 was here, let's say there's a, this has a duplicate, right? It has 3 twice. Now, the way I think we can do this is we have to kind of keep track of the frequency of each number as we walk through the whole array, right? So you want to walk through the first element, check if we've seen it before. If not, add it to our frequency dictionary or to like the data structure, whichever one you want to use, the data structure that basically keeps track of what you have seen so far. And I guess for this, we can do a set. Yes, we don't need a frequency dictionary, but I can, both of them are going to be O of one access, right? Maybe a set is more fit for this, I guess. So you keep a set of seen numbers. Let's say seen is equal to, I think you can do set like this, right? And then what you do, so for num in num, so for each number in the array nums, you want to check if num not in seen. I'm not sure if you can do this. Maybe I think you should say not num in seen. Right? Am I wrong? I don't know. We'll find out. It feels weird though. I think I'll try this first, and then I'll write a to do check syntax. In my experience, interviewers love this to do. So if you have like an off by one error somewhere, and you want to check this later, but it's not really important to the core logic of you solving the problem, then you can keep like a quick to do check syntax, or like you would say like check, or you could say maybe not num in seen. So if you get an error, you can remember maybe this is the error that caused it. Maybe this is the quick fix, right? Because you weren't sure about this, but you want to think about it later and not think about it too hard now, because it doesn't really make a big difference in the core solution that you're writing, right? This is like a quick tangent about interview prep, since we're all prepping for interviews here. So if the number is not in seen, we want to append it, right? And I don't know if the syntax here is add for set or append. Python set dot or set dot and add. Yeah, it doesn't have an append. Yeah, don't make this mistake. So add, you wanna write them here, right? If it is in seen, you want to return true. And if we've gone through the whole array without returning true, that means there is no, what do you call this, duplicate, right? Okay, I'm pretty convinced. Let's try this. It works. So this syntax seems to be working. Let's submit. Okay, we're good. So what we're doing here basically is we're looping through this array, and the advantage of this the whole point of this alternative solution is that when we're here, so we've added 1, then we added 2 to our set seen here, then we've added 3, then we've added 4, we've added 5. All this time we've been hitting this if condition, and now we're at 3. So when it's gonna check, when num is 3, it's gonna check if it's in scene. Yes, it's in scene, so it's gonna hit this condition true, right? And this saves us from cycling through this whole array. Whereas in our previous solution, if you recall, it was this, which is honestly elegant and very short and nice, and maybe you can impress your interviewer like this. But this was our solution. Now this will satisfy the whole array nums, which is O of n. Now this solution is technically still O of n, but it's a better kind of O of n, right? Because at worst, you're going to stop and short circuit here. So you're going to save yourself from doing all the rest of this work. So that's kind of like the interests in this problem, right? Like the neat, I guess, thing to think about. Let's see if there's something else we missed here. Sorting. Yeah, there's a way to sort, and then you check every 2 element pairwise. So this is no, this is not a sorted array, but this is, let's say this is a sorted array, and this is a sorted array. So you would check pairwise this, are they the same? Are they the same? And sorting takes n log n and O of n space depending on your sorting algorithm. Hash set is kind of what we did here. Seen, yeah, exactly. It's exactly what we did. And then hash set length. Yes, this is also what we meant. So I'm not sure which one. Actually, I'm not sure which one of the both is better. I think this one is better, but don't take my word for it. I'm learning like everyone here, so that's why hopefully these videos are helpful. But honestly, these videos are a bit more for myself to look back before I repeat my interviews. Anyway, this has duplicates.